Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're sinking our teeth into Mrs. Bectors Food, one of the most fascinating players in India's booming consumer market. We're talking biscuits, buns, the whole shebang, and it all adds up to a pretty amazing story about ambition and growth.
So, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the big picture, India's consumer boom. Then we'll dive right into the company's latest numbers. After that, we'll look at the hurdles they've had to overcome, their secret recipe for growth, and finally, their huge plans to go from a regional champ to a true pan-India player.
To really get a handle on a company like Mrs. Bectors, you first have to understand the world it lives in. And that world is modern India, a place that is absolutely buzzing with economic opportunity right now.
Just look at this. While a lot of economies around the world are hitting the brakes, India's is a major bright spot. This kind of strong, consistent GDP growth is like a massive tailwind for any company selling to consumers. It's simple, really. A growing economy means more money in people's pockets.
But here's the really interesting part. Who exactly has all this new spending power? This chart tells a critical story. The number of households earning between $10,000 and $50,000 a year is on track to practically double by 2030. This isn't just a small bump. It's the explosion of a brand new middle class that has disposable income and a real taste for more premium goods.
And this is the company that's aiming to serve that new market. It was all started by Mrs. Rajni Bector. Her journey from a home kitchen to a massive public company even earned her one of India's highest civilian honors, the Padma Shri. And you can see her philosophy right there in that quote, "It's all about the customer."
All right, so with this huge opportunity in the background, how did Mrs. Bectors actually do? Let's get into the hard numbers from this past fiscal year.
First up, the top line, total revenue. The company brought in over 1,870 crores, which is about 225 million US dollars. But what's really key here is that it's a 15% jump from the year before. That tells you the demand for their stuff is strong and growing.
Now let's dig a bit deeper into what's called EBITDA. You can think of it as the cash profit they make just from their day-to-day business. Hitting over 251 crores shows that their core operation, baking things and selling them, is fundamentally healthy and efficient.
And of course, the number everybody really cares about, the bottom line. After you pay for all the expenses, the interest, the taxes, the company was left with over 143 crores in pure profit. For the business and its investors, that's what a successful year looks like.
So, where's all this growth really coming from? Well, this chart is super telling. The biscuit side grew a respectable 7% in the last quarter. But look at the bakery segment. It absolutely exploded, growing at a massive 19%. This is their English oven brand and sales to big clients like fast food chains. This is clearly the engine powering the whole company forward.
Okay, so the numbers look good, right? But as always, those headline figures never tell the whole story. The past year was definitely not a walk in the park. They had to navigate some pretty serious headwinds.
And the biggest villain in this story? You guessed it, inflation. The managing director, Anup Babiter, said it himself. The soaring cost of raw materials, things like wheat and oil, put a major squeeze on their profitability.
Which brings up the multi-million-dollar question, right? When the cost of everything you use is going up, what do? You can't just keep raising prices, or your customers will walk. So how do you fight back?
Well, their answer has a name, Project Impact 10. And this isn't just about trimming a few expenses here and there. Nope. This is a top-to-bottom transformation to find every last bit of efficiency across the entire business.
And this isn't some vague corporate buzzword. They've laid out a very specific game plan. They're attacking inefficiency from every angle. Sourcing materials smarter, tweaking packaging, using tech to make their trucks run fuller, cutting down on waste in the factory, the whole 9 yards. It's a really holistic way to control costs.
But listen, you can't just cut your way to greatness, right? So on the flip side of saving money, Mrs. Bectors is also investing heavily in the future. And for them, that starts with new products.
They're rolling out a whole lineup of new stuff that really taps into what people want today. You've got indulgence, like the shortbread cookies made with real butter. You've got healthier options, like Pav, made without refined flour. And there's a new nature-baked brand for people who want clean labels, plus convenient things like ready-to-eat muffins.
And the CEO, Manu Talwar, really hits the nail on the head here. Their strategy isn't to just churn out more Me Too products,
It's to make things that are different. That's how you stand out on a crowded supermarket shelf and avoid having to compete on price alone.
All right, finally, let's talk about what might be their boldest move yet. For a long time, Mrs. Bectors has been a powerhouse in its region. But now, they're making a massive play to become a truly national name.
And this isn't just a dream. They have a super aggressive roadmap to make it happen. A new biscuit plant is already up and running in central India. And over the next year, brand new bakeries are coming online in Kolkata in the east and near Mumbai in the west. This is a huge physical expansion of where they can make and sell their products.
And you gotta understand, this isn't just about building bigger factories. This is a strategic chess move. The goal is to make their fastest-growing brand, English Oven, a household name all across India, and to be able to supply their big fast food chain partners way more efficiently. And if you want to get a sense of just how big they're thinking, look at this number. Management says that once all these new plants are running at full tilt, their potential annual revenue could hit nearly 3,400 crores. That's almost double what they're making right now.
Wow.
So let's just tie this all together. It's a pretty powerful story when you break it down. On one side, you've got this incredible opportunity, a booming economy and a rising middle class. And on the other, you have a clear three-part strategy to go after it. Expand across the country, innovate with unique products, and keep a super tight grip on your costs. Which really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Mrs. Bectors seems to have all the right ingredients and a very clear recipe, but pulling off a plan this huge is never easy. As they push into new markets and launch new products, the real test is whether they can actually bake themselves a bigger slice of India's absolutely massive consumer pie.